Hey guys, and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a full face or near full face of Chantecaille because at the moment they've got their Botanical Beauty Sale on. It used to be called the Sylvie Sale, but now that's changed to the Botanical Beauty Sale, and it's now open to everyone, and there is 25% off. Now Chantecaille also contacted me probably about a couple of weeks ago and generously gave me a code, and that is also 25% off, and I'm going to put it down here. It's Maria 25, so you can either use my code or go straight to the website, but I would really appreciate it if you did use my code. Now I have done an order with this sale, and it's a bit complicated for me because they don't ship directly to New Zealand, so I have to use a forward shipping address, so go somewhere in the US and then New Zealand Post ships it from there to here. So the things that I bought 1 or 2 skincare items, and I also bought some makeup items as well. So I will list those in the description box below of the things that I ordered and also what I'm going to be putting on my face today. So I have done my skincare for this morning, and I did use the Chantecaille Rose de Mai, the cleansing balm. Now I know this is pronounced Rose de Mai, but my grandmother's on my mother's side, her surname was spelled M-A-I, and we always pronounce it Mai. So that's why I do refer it to as Rose de Mai. But this is absolutely beautiful. I've bought this numerous times. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is just really beautiful. It is a cream going on, and it's very gentle on the skin, but it's really effective of removing makeup if you want to in the evening. But I also love it because it's very soothing for in the mornings as well. And of course, the last step in my skincare routine is always SPF, and I put on another layer of that probably about 15 or 20 minutes ago. Now for a primer today, I'm going to use the Chantecaille. This is the Sheer Glow, and this is the gold face tint. They also have one in rose, and they also have the one in bronze. Now I haven't used the one in rose. I don't think it would really suit my skin tone, but I've heard that the bronze one is really beautiful. You can put that underneath foundation if you wanted to, but I also think it works really beautifully from what I've seen as a bronzer as well, so I wouldn't mind picking that up. So this is a really beautiful formula, and you can see that I have used quite a bit of it. You don't need very much. Just rub a little bit between your fingers and just pop it on how you normally would with a primer. And this just leaves a really beautiful glow. Now, of course, if you want a no makeup day, but you still want that healthy glow, then you can wear this just by itself. And today I'm going to be using the reformulated Chantecaille, the Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation, and I also have the older one as well. So I'll do a swatch comparison and see if there's any difference with the shades. So the other thing with this product is when you put it on, it does have, I think it has a really beautiful cooling effect as well, and my skin just feels really smooth. It's a really beautiful product. So a little while ago I did pick up the reformulated the Future Skin Gel Foundation, and I've worn this probably, I wore it again yesterday and the day before, so I've worn it at least 6 or 7 times, and I think it wears really beautiful. Now I also thought the original one wore really beautifully as well, and for the type of coverage this gives, I would say, I've heard that people say it's light. I think it's light heading towards a medium. You can also put it on really sheer if you wanted to. You could mix it with something like the Chantecaille, the liquid Lumiere, or even their Rose de Mai face oil if you wanted to, and pop a little bit of that and mix it together so it's more sheer. And also if you put it with the Rose de Mai, the face oil as well, that would be perfect for people who have dry skin or very dry skin. So this foundation now comes in more shades. There are 21 shades, and the main thing about the reformulation is that there is more skincare in this. It has more of the botanical skincare in it, and this is an oil-free gel foundation. So those of you that haven't viewed my other videos before, I have mature skin. I am now 56 years old, and my skin is also oily. Now it's the middle of winter here, so it's not as oily as it is in the summertime, but it is still oily. And this foundation, whether I use it in the warmer weather or when I use it at this time of the year, it goes really well with my oily skin. I do think it is a foundation that suits all skin types. And because I've got the older one here, I thought I don't want to get them mixed up, but actually on the reformulated one, on the top of the cap here, there is a C for Chantecaille, and on the older one, it doesn't have that C. So there's no risk of me mixing them up. So I've just swatched the new one on my hand, and now I'm just going to swatch the older one. So I have mine in the shade Cream, and this is the reformulated one, and this is the older one. So I don't think there's any difference between the shades. I have heard that with some of the shades that have come out, the newer ones are slightly different to the older ones, but with these two, I don't think there is much difference, or I don't think really there's any difference at all. So I'm just going to apply this on the left side of my face first, and I'm going to use a brush to apply it. And I think today I'll use one of the new Victoria Beckham brushes. Chantecaille also have a range of brushes, but I haven't tried any of them yet. If you've tried any of the Chantecaille brushes, let me know in the comments below and what you think of them, because if you think that they are good quality brushes and they apply makeup really well, then I would consider picking up perhaps one or two. And just like with the gold face tint, when you put this on, I think it has a really beautiful cooling feeling. And this also builds up beautifully as well. So as I was saying, you can shear this out if you want to, but I like to build this up towards its light medium coverage. So now that's with the left side all done, and it does give a very natural type of finish, and I think it is super flattering on my mature skin as well. Now here I have a sunspot and a couple through here, and you can still see it slightly, but it does even out the complexion and just gives a really beautiful finish. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab a little bit more and put some through here and just slightly build it up. This is how I normally use this foundation, and it does also layer really beautifully, and just stipple it in the areas that I just want a little bit more coverage. I don't want a full coverage. I don't think I even own many full coverage foundations at all. I either like a light coverage, light towards medium, or depending, sometimes a medium coverage as well. So you can see it's slightly built up a little bit more. So people are probably going to ask, do I prefer the reformulated one or the older one? I think they perform, to me, exactly the same. I don't think one is better than the other. I think they are both really beautiful, but as I was saying, this one now has more botanical skincare ingredients in it. And for the concealer, I'm going to use the Chantecaille. This is, I think it's the Camouflage Stylo, and I think the shade is, I was trying to find it on the pen, I think the shade is shade 3. And I have ordered, I was saying how I didn't order with Chantecaille, and I have ordered another one of these. I think this is a beautiful concealer. It gives a medium coverage, light towards medium. And again, it has really lovely ingredients in it. I find that this gives good coverage. I don't really like a full coverage concealer anyway. I still like my products to look very natural. It doesn't crease, and it just lasts really well throughout the day. So off camera, I've done my eyebrows, also put some eyeshadow primer on, powdered under my eyes and powdered my face as well, and none of those are Chantecaille products. I am going to use a Chantecaille powder. It's the one that came in this limited edition casing, and this is the popular, this is the Perfect Blur. This is a finishing powder. So I don't have a Chantecaille setting powder, so I used a different one. It is linked below if you want to take a look, but I'll be using this one in my final step as a finishing powder. Now for the bronzer, I am going to use the Chantecaille one. Of course, there is the beautiful Goa one, and I think that might be discontinued, or they might be bringing out other shades because that's no longer on the website, and neither is this one that I'm about to use. This was a limited edition one. I think it was released last year at some stage, and this is the Sunstone Real Bronze, and this has a really beautiful subtle luminosity to it. It is really gorgeous, and I've used this quite a bit. But often with Chantecaille, they do release shades again. Maybe if they're going to expand their bronze shades, then this might be one of them, and if it is, I really recommend the shade. I think it's very beautiful. It's a very natural type of bronze, and as I was saying, it gives a little bit of luminosity, but not too much. It's all just very subtle and just gives you this really healthy bronzed glow. Now for the eyeshadow today, I'm going to use two different singles. Chantecaille have a lot of beautiful eyeshadows, and many of them are limited editions. The ones that they recently released, or their last release, the limited editions, they are still available on the website. I never pick those up. Every now and then I do pick up the new releases for the Chantecaille, the limited edition ones, and I have quite a few in my drawer, and they are really beautiful. But for today's video, I thought I would use ones, perhaps you have this in your collection already, and this is the way that I use both of these eyeshadows. So this one is the Luminescent Eye Shade, and it's in the ever popular, this is the shade, the one in Elephant. This is a really gorgeous shade, and of course these have this really beautiful luminosity to them, but in saying that, it's still subtle, and I find that they don't emphasize the texture on my eyelids. So going to start off with the Elephant shade first. This is one of my Rapha brushes. This is the number 14, and I'm going to put this all over my lid, through the crease, and up onto the brow bone as well. And initially it goes on quite sheer, but you definitely can build this up. So that's what I'm going to do now. Just build it up through the crease and up through the brow bone. And I'm going to build it up a little bit more in the outer corner as well. And I'm also going to put this on my lower lash line. So now I'm just building up the shade in the outer corner. And then I'm just going to take the Rapha number 3 brush, same shade, and run this on my lower lash line. And just exactly the same on the other eye. I put a little bit more on the outer corner, and just what's left, just sweep the rest over my lid. And the other shade that I'm going to use is just going to lighten it all through there. Now this is a very simple look, just a couple of shades, but I wore this a couple of times last week. Actually, a couple of days ago I wore this look, and I went out for most of the morning, and I just thought it looked really pretty and a really beautiful everyday natural type of eye look. Then I'm going to take the Chantecaille. This is the Mermaid Eye Colour Single, and this is in the one Seashell. I'm using a Rapha number 2 brush, and I'm going to place that through here. And I love this shade just for lightening up the whole eye look. Of course, you can wear the Elephant shade if you want just by itself all over the eye. I think that is really beautiful. But I do like to put a lighter shade through here a lot of the time. I just love the way it adds more depth to the outer corner because it's lighter through here, and I just think it gives a really pretty look. And with the shade, I just tap a little bit through the brow bone as well, and I did the same over on the side. I'm just going to add a little bit more. Now you can also put this in the inner corner if you wanted to. That would look really beautiful as well. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more depth on the outer corner, and I've grabbed the Rapha number 13, a little bit smaller than the Rapha 14, and it just adds a little bit more pigment. So that is super simple, and I just think it looks really pretty. Now off camera, I'm going to put on some eyeliner and mascara, and neither of them are Chantecaille ones. In the order that I've done from Chantecaille, I have purchased one of their eyeliners because I haven't tried one before. And if I was going to use a Chantecaille mascara, it would be the longest lash one. I have used that before. I've purchased it a couple of times. I think that is a really beautiful mascara, and also has the peptides in it as well. So it gives you really healthy lashes. And I have ordered one of those in my recent order as well. So here is the finished eye look. And even though it's 2 shades, really simple as I was saying, but I just think it looks really pretty. Now before I get into the blush, I just want to talk just for a minute or two about some of the skincare items that I have used. You saw that I showed you the Rose de Mai, the cleansing balm, which I absolutely love. Another product that I really love as well, and I do have this, and this is the Rice and Geranium Foaming Cleanser. This is absolutely beautiful. And I can be quite heavy-handed with my skincare products, but with this, you really only need the tiniest amount. I'm going to put a little bit on my finger and show you how much or how little I use of this. So that is how much I use. It is the tiniest amount. You put some water on, rub your fingers together, and it just emulsifies really beautifully and foams up, and that is plenty to do your whole face. Now because this product has the rice in it, it is an exfoliating type of cleanser, but it is super gentle. So it's a cleanser that you could use both morning and night and won't cause any irritation to your skin. And I have purchased quite a few of those. It's just absolutely gorgeous cleanser. Now the reason why I want to talk about skincare is because when Chantecaille has this 25% off, and it is store wide, then probably the best bang for your buck is going to be the skincare, because that is in the more pricey side. Although that cleanser that I just showed you, I don't think that is too expensive, and because you use such a tiny amount, it really lasts you a long time. So you may want to have a look on the website for the sets, because some of them are already at a slightly discounted price because they are sets, and then you add that 25% off as well, and I think that is a really good buy. Now they also have an offer, and I'm not quite sure of the amount, but when you spend over a certain amount, they also have this really gorgeous tote as well. Now another product that I'm currently using is their makeup remover. You could use it over your whole face if you wanted to. I use it as an eye makeup remover, and I've been using that in the evenings, and that is really beautiful. And I also think it's really effective at taking off makeup as well. There's also the different masks that they have. There is a calming mask, there is a slight, I think that's a gentle exfoliating mask as well, and there's also the clay mask. Now I haven't used any of their gold skincare products, but I have heard really great things about it. But one of the products, or a few of the products that I have used, and that is from the Bio Lift range, I think that is gorgeous. And one is a mask that you can leave on all night, and that is just absolutely beautiful. The other area that you can use that on, and not just on your face, but I also used it on my neck as well, and the next morning my skin was just super plumped. It felt really beautiful and looked healthy and glowy, and I also found that it also just plumped out and made my neck look really moisturized and healthy as well. And I just wanted to mention one more skincare product, and that is the Vital Essence. I have used that before. I think that is a beautiful product. And a couple of weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, when Chantecaille reached out to me with that generous code of Maria 25% off, but of course they have 25% off store wide as well. So either if you use my code or go straight to the website, you are going to get that 25% off. But they also offered to gift me some products, so I could choose from a list and 3 of the products. And one that I chose out of the list was, again, the Rice and Geranium Foaming Cleanser, because I just love it so much. And the other one that I chose was the Vital Essence, because as I said, I've used that before and I think it's gorgeous. And last one that I chose was one of their lip glosses, because I haven't tried a Chantecaille lip gloss before, and they've recently released 2 or 3 new shades, so I chose one of the new shades. Now for the blush, I'm going to use the Hydrating Gel Cream Blush. This is the one in Delight. This is one of the new shades. And these ones have this really beautiful, it's subtle, but a really gorgeous luminosity to them. Now, of course, you can use this over the top of a blush and you can double blush, but I just like using this by itself because I do like a sheer wash of color on my cheeks. And with this subtle luminosity as well, it just gives this healthy, beautiful, ethereal type of color wash to your cheeks. Now, I have used this formula before. I've got this in 2 other shades of the older shades, and it is gorgeous. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of this on the back of my hand and just blend it out. So this is the shade Delight, and they describe this as an intense coral. I wouldn't say it's really intense, but it is a really beautiful coral shade. And if I move my hand, you can see that it has that luminosity, but very subtle and really pretty. So to put this on, I'm just going to tap it on first using my fingers, just a couple of dots on each cheek. And then I'm going to take my Sonia G brush and buff it out. Now you can blend it out just using your fingers as well. And you can also layer it if you want more intensity. But first of all, I'm just blending it out with the brush. And then if I think I need a little bit more, I'll add it using my fingers. So for me, this really beautiful, subtle wash of colour is definitely enough for my everyday makeup. But I am going to put just a little bit more on, just so you can see it more clearly in the video. And just tapping it on using my fingers, and as I was saying, it does layer really beautifully as well. It also blends out beautifully just using your fingers, so it's really up to you what type of application you want to use. Really, really beautiful. I love that luminosity. It doesn't emphasize my texture, but just brings, I think it brings my face to life, and is just subtle and absolutely gorgeous. And to finish it all off, I'm going to use one of the Chantecaille. This is one of their lip cheeks. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the finishing powder. This was the limited edition packaging that came out, might have been 2, possibly even 3 years ago now. And this is in the shade light medium, so they still have it. It's just not in this packaging. I think this packaging is really gorgeous. I'm just using a BK Beauty brush, and like it says, I do use this as a finishing powder. So I'm just going to put it just through here, and it does give a blurring effect. And it also just helps just keep my makeup in place as well. So here is my near full face of Chantecaille, and I just think it is really pretty. Now, one thing I did want to mention is a product that I don't really like from the Chantecaille range, and that is the SPF, and that is the one, the SPF 45. And the reason that I don't like it is it's quite emollient and almost feels a little bit oily, and it's not really suited to my oily skin. I think it would be more suited for people that have normal, dry to very dry skin, but it just didn't really sit well with my oily skin. And one last thing I did want to mention about skincare is that Chantecaille recently released the Blanc Peony range, and I've heard fabulous things about that. Now, that range, from what I've read on their website, is targeted at brightening, and from looking at the ingredients, they are products that you would use in the evening probably more than in the morning. Now, I just think this range looks absolutely gorgeous, and it is more on the pricier side, so during the sale this would be a really good time to pick them up. So let me know in the comments below if you are picking anything up from the Botanical Beauty Sale and what you are getting. As I said, the items that I have picked up from the sale I will have listed and linked in the description box below, as well as everything that I've put on my face as well. So that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.